hmm So, hey everyone. We have a special guest here today. From you may have seen him from the Angry Video Game Nerd series. You may know him from the hit film The Dark Knight Rises,
Yes.
and better known currently as the host of Hack the Movies, the creator, everything, producer, Tony from Hack the
Hello.
Movies. How you doing?
And I know you as the guy on the sticker packet.
Yeah, that's actually a positive light. Usually, I'm the guy who killed the crow in the store, or the
I'm
guy
sorry.
who
I'm
the
sorry.
yeah
What?
or the guy who likes his cousin. But no, just
Have you
just real
talked to that cousin in a while?
dude. No, I haven't. I keep leaving her Facebook messages, and
Lorenzo.
I know she's on there, but she keeps not even looking at them, just ignoring them. And
Is this like a George Costanza thing? Are you trying to hook up with your cousin to spite your parents or something?
I would spite my parents anyways. It's not
Did you ever see
even
that? Did you ever see
no,
that
no.
episode?
I don't remember that episode.
Oh, George gets mad because his parents keep dodging him because they're annoyed by him. So his plan to get back at them is to like make them go somewhere and have them see him hooking up with his cousin to shame them or something. But then his cousin's like really into it, which he's thrown off by.
No, I wish I had that problem because I
Jesus
really
Christ.
I really did like have this huge crush on my cousin, and I don't know, like I just one day she just stopped contacting me, and I think that was the best way to do it. She just kind of
Mm.
ghosted me, rowdy, and it's like okay, whatever. At least she didn't tell me to fuck off or do anything.
Oh,
But
so there's a chance, I guess.
no, yeah, that's why I keep trying because there was no closure. Like
Lorenzo, there's other girls out there, Lorenzo. I mean, I
that's
haven't
what I
gotten a
hear.
date in over a year, but I'm sure it'll happen eventually. I'm sure you can find someone.
That's the worst excuse. There's other girls out there. No, and it's just third cousin. It's like my grandma knew her grandma, so it's not even that bad.
That's right. It's not even that bad.
I don't know how it is for Italians in their family trees, but that's not even that bad. I'm pretty sure our babies would come out normal looking. The
Well, yeah,
science.
I actually took an anthropology class in college, and that's one of the things I learned. Genetic defects from incest usually only happens between immediate family. So like brother,
Exactly.
sister, mother, unless you're doing it over generations. Like if you're only like sleeping with cousins over generations, there's not enough new genetic material, then there's a problem. But
Exactly.
yeah, apparently a cousin that's more of a social taboo. That's what I learned from that class. I don't know if I agree with all of it, but that's what I learned from that class.
I remember I took a psychology class in college, and
Yeah.
they were telling us, or the teacher was like, if a if two, like a brother and sister, want to go out and have protected sex with each other, not tell anyone, and that makes their lives better, like they're happy about it, is that wrong? And everyone was all, oh no, that's disgusting. And it's just like, in my head I was like, wait, but it's not hurting anyone, they're not
No,
telling
it's that.
anyone.
No, that's a result of like something happened in the past that fucked them up. So this is just the end result of a fucked up thing. There's a bunch of stuff that happened that led to this that should not have happened. That's the answer there.
But if they're able to, like, calm whatever's going on down by having sex, it's protected, they're not telling
No,
anyone,
this
so
is
it's
the
not hurting anyone.
worst. Is this how this
So
interview show usually goes? We
no, it
jump right into.
doesn't. It's just, these are the thoughts that I think about. Like,
Lorenzo, are you the
oh,
reason like Pornhub is just ruined forever?
I don't know. Pornhub, it's
Every time
okay.
you every time you go on there, it's like that girl looks hot. It's like, well, I don't want her to be a sister to anyone. That's a little weird. It's like, oh, that girl looks really hot. Let me see this video. And it's like, hey, stepbrother. It's like, okay, is there any like where they're just like normal? Like I don't like everything is turning into incest porn. It's like Jesus Christ. It's to the point where it's like I'm cheating on my husband with his best friend. I'm like, oh, finally, something normal.
Something classic and vintage.
Something class, something I can
Yeah.
relate to. Like,
I mean, me
uh,
personally, I'm more into like weird kind of fantasy Asian vintage Asian porn. So I never see that. I don't never got with the stepbrother
is what if the
sister.
octopus was the girl's stepbrother?
See, but you don't get any of that in the storyline. It's just a better storyline. I'm sure you could appreciate the storyline in anything, even a porn. Like you need that ending. And I've always loved the porn I watch because it has bloopers at the end, like
Jesus.
where they're laughing like in between the foreplay, and they're like breaking character. So that's always fun.
I did like back in the day the Seinfeld porn parody. I thought that one was very well done. It's very well done porn parody.
I'm tempted to watch like a Rick and Morty one or something, but I'm like, nah, I'll stick with the stuff that I like. Uh, so let's see here. I know we were talking about you were on the in the movie The Dark Knight Rises. How was that?
Yeah.
Was
Huh?
that something you talk about a lot? Was it?
Yeah, I talk about that a lot. People often complain about how much I talk about it. Actually,
I mean, I would talk about it too if I got to. Did you get to meet anyone cool or?
uh, well, I was pretty close to the field. Not super close. I didn't really meet anyone. There was an old lady next to me that just kept telling me about how evil Obama was. And I was like, "What, lady?" And she's like, "I'm here because my grandson likes Batman, so I wanted to be in the movie." And she's like, "I wish I could have brought him, but they told me no kids." And then she looked on the field. She's like, "Why is that kid there?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's actually the director's son." And then she went, "Shouldn't he be home with the mother?" And I'm like, "Actually, the mom is one of the producers on the movie. She's over there." She like just wasn't getting it. But no, I got to say hi, Chris, really loud, and then Christopher Nolan waved at me. And
Dang,
I did
hell
the same
yeah.
thing with Tom Hardy. Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. Got
No.
sunburned like crazy, but it was a fun time.
No, I didn't realize that scene was. Oh, of course, he's known for not using CGI, so that's pretty cool.
Well,
Or
I mean,
not
there
really
was
using
CGI
CGI.
in that
Yeah,
scene,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Of course,
they did blow up mounds of dirt before they
uh,
added the digital explosion, so that was cool. I got a piece of turf in my mouth from that. But yeah, I think once the bombs go off, I think all the audience turns digital, to be honest. But that scene with Bane coming out of the hallway with the remote, I'm in that
mhm.
shot. I'm a million miles away from the camera, out of focus, but I'm in that shot.
Where he's like such a lovely, lovely voice or some
Yeah.
shit when the kid's coming.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
that's
there's this
cool.
rivalry I'm having with Frank on my show because he was in Joker, but he got completely cut out of the movie. But he would have actually had a scene with Joaquin Phoenix, like face to face. And it would have been a big deal, but now I just keep ragging. I'm like, I've never been cut out of a Batman movie. Must suck to be you, Frank.
That's a pretty big one up to
Yeah,
have on
the big
someone.
one.
Yeah,
Although if
like,
he had ended up in the movie, that would have one up me so much. I would have been like, God damn
oh yeah, but it's that's the hand that was dealt. Like, oh, too bad.
it.
There's what is it? There's no almost in
Yeah.
grenade hand grenades, and unless you're in hand grenades or horseshoes, there's no almost.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah. So, oh well, man. Oh well, buddy.
Yep.
Um. So I hear you're Italian. You're like
Yes.
actual legit Italian, like
Yeah,
proper.
my dad is off the boat.
You want to hear my my Italian impression?
I
Cuz I'm
I
Lorenzo.
don't know. I had to hear Chris Pratt's and I'm still offended by that. But if you want to give it a shot,
Yeah,
I'm
here
gonna give
this.
you. I'm gonna give you a pass. You're getting an Italian pass right
I'll
now.
say I got the name Lorenzo. It sounds Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go. Let me go. So long, Bowser. That's that's my
I
Italian
I
impression.
I am revoking your pass. That was pasta face. I will now be canceling you for doing just egregious pasta face.
Hey, it's the most famous Italian I know. What the heck, you know? Um, what's like I know you say you're Italian. I believe it. You know, what's the most
Yeah.
Italian thing you do? Do you have like a tracksuit? Do you
I do have a Rocky Four tracksuit that I wear
do you,
regularly.
do you like make your own pasta? Like what's like what
I mean,
makes
I've
you
made
Italian?
pasta.
Have you?
When I live by myself, I don't really eat too much pasta. But yeah, my dad makes a shit ton of pasta. My dad makes the most Italian meals ever.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
I'd imagine 'cause
I
you're
don't know. What's the
Italian.
most Italian thing about me? I don't know. I've lied a couple times. I mean, and see, by just saying a couple, that was also a lie. So that's pretty Italian, lying.
I think that's just human nature. I don't specifically put that on the Italians. That they're always lying and you can't believe them. I think there are good Italians. I've seen Goodfellas, so I know
Oh
like
yeah,
that's not the best painted light on them, but
yeah.
they do
You're
what
like, oh, I know Italians. Anyway, here's a mafia thing. It's like, okay.
yeah, but they do what they got to do. You know what I mean? Like it's all about family. It's all about I don't know.
Yeah.
There's yeah, they're good people. I think they're like a what is it? An A or a B on the race tier list.
I didn't realize there was a race tier list, but I'm
I
glad
mean
we're
that's just
A or
me.
B.
Yeah, that's just me in my head. I don't think they're S plus like
Who's
a
S
white.
plus, Lorenzo?
I'd say white people because they're like the most powerful
So
with all
you
of their
don't even put
skills.
your own kind at the S plus. That's how
Nah.
non-biased you are.
Yeah, I would say we're an A and B also. I think
Oh,
Mexicans
okay.
and Italians are like the same thing.
Well, Italy has been referred to as Europe's Mexico, which I just assume that's a positive thing, right? Because the Mexican people are so great and proud, and we love them, right? Right?
I think so. That's the
Yeah,
way it sounds like they're trying to spin it is an insult.
yeah.
But
I don't see why it would be an insult.
no, I think Mexicans are great
Yeah,
because I'm Mexican.
yeah.
I've hated Mexicans before, but
Whoa!
yeah, there have been points where you're
What
driving.
is this? Am I on an alt right podcast? What is going on here? I love the Mexican people and the European Mexican people equally.
No, every race is great. It goes down to like the individual, and then if they happen to be a certain race, I'm like, you stupid Mexican. You know what I mean? Like you just add that in there,
I
like
have referred to Italians that I don't like as dumb guidos. Oh my god, dumb guido.
you just add that in there. It's like that really has nothing to do with it. It's just their
Yeah.
basic character, but you got to add a little spice to the dish whenever. I've seen you share pictures. I don't know if it's too like revealing that you have two nieces, like two twins.
Yes.
Excuse me.
My sister had twins recently.
How do you tell them apart? Like, is it like is it like that Full House episode where Uncle Jesse
Well,
he
they're
switches the socks on his kids, and that's the only way you can tell them apart. So,
no, they're not identical.
oh, okay,
So it's a little, although there are times where they make the same face. Every month they start to look more and more different. But what helps is the one has you know what a raspberry is on babies.
man, that sounds familiar.
It's called a hemangiomas. It's clusters of extra blood vessels. It's like a big red bump.
Okay,
You
yeah,
ever
yeah,
see
I know
those
what
on
you mean.
babies? Well, the one has like a giant one on the back of her head. So usually when I go over there and they hand me a baby, I like turn around to look at the back of the head. I'm like, okay, I know which one this one is.
Like a serial number or
They're
something.
like, I can't tell one apart. I'm like, well, the one has an alien on the back of its head eating its brain. The other one is really easy to tell.
I'm sure that
But
that
it was
they
rough
grow
for
out
like
of
the
that,
first.
right?
Yeah, they eventually
Yeah,
go down.
yeah.
Yeah, the first like month we were all getting it mixed up. Like even the dad was getting it mixed up.
Man, yeah, newborn
Yeah,
babies are crazy. I hate when they, because I just had my second niece born,
yeah,
and for the first like month or two or three, I hated like handling her because they look like weird little like rat creatures at the beginning, like, and they're so fucking what's the word, like fragile, during
yeah,
those first few
yeah.
months.
Before my nieces, I like would not hold babies for the first few months. I'm like, now let's wait until they can support their head. I don't really want to touch a
Exactly,
kid. Like I'm
exactly.
just but yeah, I with my nieces, I'm like, well, I guess I kind of have to. But I get that fear. I remember my one cousin had a kid, and we were like in her kitchen where it was like tile floor. And she's like, "Do you want to hold him?" I'm like, "No, I'm afraid I'm gonna drop it, and I don't want to do that. Like, I'll hold him later. It looks fine. I see him from here."
I like the tile floor was what like sealed the
Yeah, I'm
deal,
like, oh shit. I'm
I'm
like, if
pretty
I drop it here, it's gonna be so much worse than the carpet, but also the carpet's pretty bad.
yeah,
I'll
I'll
just
say
wait. I'll
dropping
just
it
wait.
dropping on any sort of like,
Yeah.
even like green grass turf or anything that would mess with it.
It's like 5 or 6 months from now, I'll hold the kid. How about that? When it can actually like move.
Exactly. That's my rule. Like you said, when they could support their own neck,
Yeah.
I'm ready to hold them.
Yeah.
They sound like they could take a hit and keep on going at that point. Uh, yeah, I know. I have two nieces.
Mhm.
One just turned 12. The
Oh
other one
shit.
was just born, so she's 1,
Mm.
and so they're pretty far apart. But
Yeah.
like, is that all you have as nieces, right? You don't have any nephews?
No, because I only have
Okay.
the one sister, so
Well,
and
don't
that
you think?
I'm probably only getting nieces because she was like, I'm not doing that again. Like she's like, I didn't want to have two at the same time.
No, that's got to be trippy.
Yeah. Like I know she wanted a boy at one point, but then she was just like, no, I think we're done. We're not doing that again.
But I think I don't know if you have the same opinion because you haven't really raised boys, but you're a
Yeah.
boy. You're a boy yourself, from what I could assume, from what I could see.
I
But
went to an all boys high school for 2 years, so I guess I am.
okay. Well, I mean, they could have did what was that, what Amanda Bynes did in that movie, and kind of just dress like a boy and be on the soccer team.
Yeah, we were talking about those gender like swap comedies. Those are you'll never be able to do those ever again.
No, and some of them are good. Like, come
Yeah. Well,
on,
the Amanda Bynes one was She's the Man.
There we go.
Although someone on Twitter had a funny idea, they're like they should remake it as They's the Them, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. But yeah, stuff like what we call it, Ladybugs. Remember, Ladybugs was a good one. One of the guys. Joanna Man is my favorite. Joanna Man's good.
Yeah,
You can never
where
do those
that
again.
that dude's a basketball player, right? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
he joins the
Yeah, yeah,
WNBA.
yeah. No, those
What a
are
great
great.
movie.
There's some of them are like really great. No, I was wondering, uh, in the vein of that, would aren't girls just like easier, you think, to raise?
I have
Like,
no idea, man. I'm not a parent. I don't know.
see, I was saying like, because I have two nieces and you have the two
Hmm,
nieces. I
hmm.
feel like boys would be, especially now, where the white not well like a white boy is the most like targeted person. So if you had
I
like
don't know 100% about that.
I'm pretty sure I'm 100% with
Maybe
that, but
online. I mean, in the
yeah.
real world, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
But I feel like you have like your nieces have the best case scenario because they're probably minorities for being Italian. They're they're both women, and then if one or both of them turn up lesbian,
Oh
like
my God,
they have
Lorenzo.
they have it made, and that's what I hope for my nieces that like, oh, that's what jobs are hiring for in the Fortune 500 companies is minority women that are prideful like that,
I mean, they're doing that now. Who knows what's going to happen in like 10, 20 years.
That's true.
Uh,
That's true. But I can bet it'll just get
I'm glad.
worse.
I'm glad you given me the minority status. I feel like the Italians deserve that. I often debate with my one friend that Italians are actually black, and I'm like, well, we were treated like black people in like the early 1900s. And
Hmm.
somehow the Council of Whites to declare that we were white, and we got lucky, I guess.
I don't think Italians are black. They're not necessarily dark skinned with
Well, that
the
was the
bad
funny thing. People always
the
think
bad
like
hair.
there's this. People think there's like this white power, and all the whites are in on it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. If you don't have minorities around, white people will just hate each other. Like you're like English people like hated the Irish and Italians. Like we'll just go
Hmm.
back. There's no like white, and that's another thing with that bothers me about racists and white nationalists. It's like no. Like getting rid of minorities isn't going to solve anything. We're just going to go back to killing each other. Like you guys forget everything. We're gonna be like, yes, the whites are back in charge, but those Irish, we got to get rid of them. It's like, wait, what?
No, they'll find someone new to hate.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
just look back in history. It's like, yeah, it's hundreds of years of white people killing each other. I don't know. That's why I don't get the white supremacists. It's like, yeah, but you're just gonna fight each other then. Like, there's no real solution here.
But then they'll probably be like, "What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?" You know what I mean? Like we're accomplishing things and making this superior race, and it's like, okay, I guess. And now you got to do all the work that we usually do yourselves. All the grunt work in the fields or
Look.
uh
When the white supremacists go to war, I will stand with you, Lorenzo, and the Mexicans. The Italians and the Mexicans will stand united against the white supremacists.
well, our flags are pretty much the same. They got the
Yeah,
same
they kind of
colors.
are. What your flag? What did you guys do? You just added something in the middle. Hold on.
There's like an eagle holding a snake on like a perch or something, I think, in the middle, which is pretty tight.
Whose flag was first? Who ripped off who?
I don't
Because
know what if y'all just
Italians do like to steal, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, "Wait a minute."
because y'all are just the colors, right? There's no like
Yeah, we're just
cool,
the colors.
yeah. There's no cool little like dude holding a piece of pizza like
There
from your
really should be a dude
yeah,
holding a
yeah,
pizza.
like wearing an apron or something.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the hell?
know.
You got an eagle on a cactus eating snake.
There you
Snake.
go. Yeah, that's fucking badass. We
That's
really
pretty
spiced up the
cool.
flag. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I don't mind the Italians stealing the colors. If those colors do look Italian, so can't really like mind that. You know what I mean? It's an
Yeah.
homage, maybe. I don't
It's
know,
an homage.
an homage to it. Uh, I know, I know. In my family, I have like the twin blood thing because my dad was a twin, but his
Okay.
dad but his brother or whatever died at birth, so he was the
Oh shit.
one to like survive. And he tells me like how through the first years, his mother was like just kind of in the rocking chair in the porch, like
Yeah.
oh yeah, go play with the trees or something. And he's like, are you okay? Can you make me some cookies or feed me? And she's like, really, really kind of like psycho because she just lost her other son. But eventually
Yeah.
she like broke out of it, I guess.
Well, that's
After
it's
so many
kind of like what
years.
happened with Elvis.
How so?
Elvis was a twin.
Oh yeah.
But his son Jesse died in birth. He was an identical twin brother, Jesse. Yeah, and I think Elvis's mom was an alcoholic, and I think that might have played into that. But yeah, have you ever seen John Carpenter, the guy who did like Halloween and The Thing? He actually directed an Elvis movie with Kurt Russell, which was really really good.
I know
And in
that.
that Yeah, and in that movie, the Kurt Russell Elvis is constantly like when he's by himself, he like talks to his twin brother, like his dead twin brother. He's like imagining talking to him. He's like, Jesse, what am I gonna do here, Jesse? Jesse, blah blah blah. Man, that sucks to be that twin. It's like, oh yeah, like
The one made up imaginary one in your brother's head or whatever. Just
yeah, but no, just imagine being like Elvis's twin brother and you die when you're born. It's like, oh well, my brother's gonna be the most famous person who ever lived, and I'm dead. It's like, God, that really sucks.
yeah, could have really rode those coattails, like gone the way of Dane Cook and just fucking took all his money or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Elvis is pretty tight. He was a pretty
Yeah.
weird dude, but he's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Let me see. So your channel, Hack the Movies.
Yeah.
Where did it all start? Because I know I remember seeing you in mostly angry video game nerd stuff,
Yeah. Well,
and you just
Hack the
came.
Movies. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hack the
No-
Movies started in 2010 when Last Airbender came out. I was seeing I was watching other people's like review shows like Nostalgia Critic, a little bit of James stuff, and Spoonie was the first one I watched. Remember Spoonie? Noah Antweiler. Remember that guy?
Is that a movie?
No, Spoonie was like a YouTube like a online reviewer, and he
No, I
was
don't.
really really good. And then he had like a really successful Patreon. He said he was going to make a movie, and I think he had a mental breakdown. He doesn't really he like cries on Twitter mostly. But he was a big
Jesus.
inspiration to me before that downfall. Um, so I was like, all right, well, I'm in film school. I want to make movies, but that's not possible all the time because they're very expensive.
Oh yeah.
So let me do a video. Let me just do a video series where I review other movies. And I actually, before the internet critics, I used to love Roger Ebert's show.
Mhm.
Like when I was a kid, I would try to catch Siskel and Ebert when I could, and then when it turned into Ebert and Robert. And around that time, a lot of their archive was online, so I could go back and watch like old videos of them. And I was like, I would watch a movie, I'd be like, oh, let me see if there was a Siskel and Ebert thing on this, and there was. So when I saw that the internet was kind of taking what Siskel and Ebert did and like reinventing it, I'm like, let me jump on that. And then it did nothing. It was no one watched my channel for over a decade. I still was doing it the entire time. It went through different iterations. I eventually just started doing character work and whatnot, live streaming a bunch.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, then I was on rental reviews for Cinemassacre, and I started doing my own little reviews, which I had always done on the set, like when I had time. And I was getting a little bit of an audience, and then when rental reviews got canceled, I was like, well, shit, we still have this set. It's mostly my grandfather's tapes. I talk about movies. I'm just going to do my own show on the set. And then it just took off, which is really cool. So a bunch of people who missed rental reviews came over, which was nice. Yeah, and it's just been going on since then. We had a few speed bumps that I don't really want to talk about, but mostly had to get rid of a person here and there. But mostly it's been going really really well, and now it is now my full-time gig, which is nice.
I saw that you had announced like as your full time, and I was like, that's great. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Hope it
it was
all goes
it was
well.
like a thing where like I couldn't dedicate enough of my time to the channel and then do my other job. I was like the head of video production at Screenwave. But a lot of our podcasts ended up being remote anyway, so the job kind of changed. And it was just like, all right, well, I have to keep monitoring all these shows, and it's not giving me enough time to focus on this. And when I would focus on one, the other would suffer. So I was like, I kind of just want to do Hack the Movies.
Yeah.
So we worked it out. We worked out a cool agreement. So now I'm doing Hack the Movies full time. It's only been month one, so I'm hoping it continues being well, or I'm gonna be back to Ubering again, Lorenzo.
No, I know the feeling. I'm working
Yeah,
a full-time job while
yeah, dude.
doing my podcasts and doing this like
Yeah,
everyday work, and it's like, man, I wish I could do this, full
I
time.
remember
But
in 2015, 2014, 2015, I was working on a TV show. And then afterwards, I ended up going back to retail. So I'm trying not to recreate that because that was rough. That was really rough, Lorenzo. Traveling the world for a TV show and filming all this cool stuff and then going to Office Max and stocking shelves. I'm like, wow, this is the worst thing ever. So I'm glad I have this opportunity. I'm trying to make the best of it, and I hope it works out. But yeah,
I think I think
sorry,
those retail stories make good stories though. Like
they do.
they might like inspire you to
Mm,
well, at least to be better. Like, no, fuck
yeah.
this. I'm gonna be a better person and get out
Well,
of
thank
this.
God I got out of there because that Office
Yeah.
Max is now a trampoline park. So
I guess that's one way to go. I guess we need less office maxes and more trampoline parks.
my
Okay.
favorite thing was with Office Max, and I guess Office Depot. I think they were owned by the same people. They
Mhm.
wanted us to sign people up for free PC tune-ups. Bring your PC in; they'll scan it for viruses and stuff. And I remember sitting there being like, I don't know, this seems kind of stupid. So I never offered it to any employee or any customer that was there. I never. And I would get like shoot out for that occasionally. And then like 3 months after I left, this big news article broke about how it was a scam that Office Max was doing. Someone was like, "Yeah, I bought a brand new PC that was never turned on, and then they scanned it and found all this stuff with it." But there were people. They did have like IT guys who knew what they were doing, and like even some of them like off not off the record, but they were like anonymous. They're like, yeah, we know how to fix a lot of stuff, but they require us to run the PC through this thing that will then identify all these problems. They're like, we're not allowed to just go in and fix it. We have to run it through this thing. So yeah, it was like this whole scam that I luckily, I mean, that's not very Italian of me. I ended up not scamming these people.
Yeah, but you don't want like your corporate boss telling you what to do. That's pretty Italian
Yeah.
of you, right? Like you're
It's
like,
true. I don't like my
fuck,
boss telling me what to do.
fuck this. I'll do what I want to do. I'm doing, like I'll do it when I want to, or if I have, But yeah, I saw, and I was thinking of like different types of movies that you might have
Mhm.
seen just even in your lifetime or on the channel. What have you ever have you ever cried to watching a movie? I assume because you sound human, but like
Lorenzo, I haven't cried since like I was 10, maybe. I just
really,
don't cry. I don't cry. And that's not even like a tough thing because clearly there's something wrong with me.
I
I
was
just
saying
like
there's got to be something wrong with
I
you.
like physically cannot. I get sad. I get sad and emotional and moody and everything. I can't cry. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's
very awkward. It is very awkward during like breakups and stuff where like the girl is crying. They're like, "You don't even care." And I'm like, "No, I just physically can't cry. I'm very sad. I physically can't cry."
like I said,
Uh,
that's kind of a flex, but at the same
yeah,
time, I it mentally, because I've seen so many doctors in my
yeah.
lifetime, I'm like, you need help. Like that's not a good thing. That's gonna pile up, and then
No,
out
no.
of nowhere,
I would be wary. I would be worried if I was never sad or emotional in addition to not crying.
yeah,
But no, I do get sad and emotional. I just can't do the tears and I can't do that. That part I can't do.
okay.
I kind of just get quiet and like just zone out. That's my version of sad.
I
But no, so crying at a movie when I was a kid, Homeward Bound, when Sassy falls off a waterfall, that used to get me.
uh-huh.
Um, I
Good
think
movie.
Mufasa dying got me. There were a couple stuff that made me cry in movies. Trying to think of some other ones.
I remember I was taking a film class for college, like a
Mhm.
like a film appreciation or something like that, where you
Yeah.
they give you movies to watch and write reports about them,
Mm.
and they had us do Field of Dreams,
Oh, that's a good
and
one.
yeah, and I don't think I'd ever seen it, or it'd been a long time since I've seen it, so I put it on, and like there's the part with the father and this, and I was ugly crying, like, "Ooh," I was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, I need to call my dad," ooh. And it's just me watching. I was like ugly crying, where I was like, where you're just like, oh, you don't know, but you're like,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, there are moments I'll watch movies and I was like, oh man, if I could cry, this would be it. What were some recent
like
ones?
RoboCop or something. If I
Yeah,
could cry,
like
if I could
RoboCop.
cry, this would be make me cry. Yes, like
What was it? There was something recently. Oh, Did you see Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom?
no,
The
I've
second
never
of.
seen any of the Jurassic Park movies.
Well, you should at least see the first one. First one's a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
I always hear that. There's
You should watch the first one and then watch my review of the first one. It's one of my most watched episodes. Definitely watch the first one. The sequels are kind of optional. However, the fifth one, which is technically the second Jurassic World, they're all escaping the island because it's blowing up. Spoilers: the island from the first movie ends up blowing up later on because there's a volcano going on, and like there's this fun action scene, and they all get in the boat, and they're all happy, and then they look back and they realize like the Brachiosaurus, like the real long neck one, it's like on the dock and it's trying to make its way to the ocean, but it can't make it in time, and like the smoke cloud comes and it like cries. I'm like, oh man, that would get me if it could. Like that, if I was able to, that would have broken me. I remember being in the theater, like my girlfriend at the time, my sister were just bawling their eyes out. I'm like, yeah, if I could do it, that'd be the one. That'd be the one. Because you feel so bad for it. You're like, oh, come on, buddy, you can make it. You're like, I can't make it. It's too fucking slow.
I remember
Um,
crying for Land Before Time, the original one too, where
oh yeah.
his mother dies or
Yeah, and
whatever.
there's that cop out ending where they're all alive in the Green Valley.
Is that for real? They're just I don't remember that. I haven't seen
Remember
it
they
in
get to the
forever.
Green Valley at the end and everyone's alive apparently.
Oh, okay. No, I get what you're
And
saying. They just added
people said that was them actually dying and that's technically heaven, but then they made 17 sequels that ignore that explanation. So
no, that, and even like Brave Little Toaster. I love those animation movies that
yeah.
weren't Disney.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Brave Little Toaster as a kid. I
Nah,
tried.
it was
I
badass.
tried. What was another? Was it a one that'll always get me emotional? Spock dying in Star Trek 2. That's a rough one. That's a rough
I,
one.
I think but he comes back to life, right? Like as
Yeah, I mean they ruined it by bringing it back to life. But
yeah.
in that second one, he is dead. So it's like, oh man, that's emotional. That's a little rough.
And is that the one where I'm trying to remember, because I know I was into Star Trek like really bad for a little while,
Mm.
just to spite Star Wars, because I've never seen a Star Wars movie either. But doesn't
You
he
still haven't
die?
seen a Star Wars movie?
I've never seen the Star Wars
Lorenzo,
movies.
I will send you. Have you heard of this thing called the despecialized Star Wars?
No.
Okay, so you know that you've heard that George Lucas added a bunch of stupid shit to Star Wars, like a dance number and CGI, and those are the only official versions you can get. There was a DVD release that had the original versions, but it was like a shitty Laserdisc transfer. It looked terrible. I will send you the despecialized. So a bunch of fans, they took like the Blu-ray footage and old film and all these different sources, and they recreated the movie to look exactly like it did when it originally came out, but in HD. And because I'm such a good friend of yours, I will send you the original trilogy as it was originally intended, and I want you to watch them.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
If
Don't
you're
watch the official versions that are
yeah,
on Disney
yeah.
Plus and shit. You don't need to see a fucking a herd of banthas. Those are like desert cows. In Return of the Jedi, George Lucas decided that we need a 10-second shot of like 30 banthas in the desert for no reason. You don't need that. I will send you the actual versions of the film, and then you
No,
will
that
thank
sounds
me.
good. No, I probably well, I'm thanking you right now if you do,
Yes.
and but yeah, I'd watch them just for
Yes.
kicks. I always need more
Yeah.
material, and it's about
And, and
time.
and again, just stick to those three. Don't watch the others. Don't watch the others. Just stick to those three. Like it's just that's it. Three and done. Three and done. I think now we've all learned that Star Wars, like we just like Luke Skywalker and his friends. We don't care about the origin of his dad or his mentor. We definitely don't care about his nephew and his weird cousin girlfriend thing. We don't care about any of that.
I don't know why we don't care about the cousin
Well,
girlfriend
I
thing.
don't think they're
Yeah.
actually cousins. But yeah, it's just those original three are good. I think you'll enjoy them. And I'm sending you the version with the original effects, untouched.
No, that'd be great. I will watch it along with
Yes.
Cocaine Bear. I really need to watch Cocaine Bear because it's on Peacock and it's on my list of things to watch.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park's on Peacock too, isn't it? I think they have all of them, right?
But they didn't like mess with them like they did Star Wars, right?
No, no. I mean, they made it 3D at one point,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not on Peacock. I think they might have fucked with the color correction, but no, the movies themselves are like untouched.
Oh look, I probably have some Amazon Prime credits from slow shipping that I could use to rent it or something.
Yes, Peacock has the first four Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, okay. Cool. No,
Yes.
I literally have like all of those streaming sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my
I know
payroll.
Amazon Prime has the newest one, but the one in between Jurassic World and Jurassic World Dominion, I could just send that to you. But yes, you should watch Jurassic Park and Star Wars. And again, I'm not gonna like give you shit if you don't. It's fine if you don't. But
No, yeah.
at least just check them out and be like, oh, that's why people like it. Okay.
I don't imagine you
I don't want you to be like a fan and like dive into the fandom and learn all the lore. It's like at least just watch the movies. Yeah. Like, okay, I get it.
But I don't expect you how busy you are of a person to be like, did you watch them? Did you watch them?
I'm busy, but I'm also an asshole, Lorenzo. I will hit you up and be like, did you watch them? Especially if I'm going to send you the despecialized versions of Star Wars. You better fucking watch those.
Yeah, no, I'll watch them for sure because I nothing else better to do. Obviously, has there ever been a movie that fucked you up? Like when you left, you were like, "Holy shit!" This like I wouldn't say it changed your life, but it made you think. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Huh.
because for me, I remember one movie that fucked me up pretty bad. I saw The Happening in theaters, where the trees are fucking killing people and
Yeah.
shit, and
Stupid M. Night movie.
yeah, and everyone shit on it. But after I went to a midnight show because the midnight shows were cheaper,
Yeah.
and I got out of there and I remember just driving home, just seeing the trees, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what the fuck what if that's true? Oh my god!" And then I had a buddy more recently who, for whatever reason of his own, watched Interstellar 3 times, like in a row.
Interstellar's good. I wouldn't watch it in a row. That's a
I'll
little
say
weird.
it's good, right? It is a good movie, but would you watch it 3 times? Because it fucked him up after he saw it 3 times. I don't think that's a movie you watch.
I definitely have seen it 3 or 4 times. I watch the same movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't watch it in a row. That's a little much.
Yeah, he did
However,
that. And it just fucked him up.
I just want to say, you, a Mexican person, watching a horror movie. Oh, actually, hold on, never mind. Well, okay, yeah, same thing. Puerto Rican, Mexican, same thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So you watch The Happening and you thought the trees are going to kill you. You know the chupacabra, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The chupacabra.
Very well.
So someone investigated that. And the original eyewitness in Puerto Rico, she had just watched the movie Species, the 1995 horror movie Species with the character Syl, and basically described the character from the movie, and said that she saw it in real life, and obviously she was lying, and then other people just went along with that lie, and then somehow this urban legend was born. Just because some Puerto Rican lady watched a movie and was like, "Yeah, I saw that monster outside." Isn't that crazy?
Maybe that's just coincidence. You never know. Like it could have just happened to look like that, or you know.
Yeah, or a lot of times it's like dogs with mange or animals with mange, and like that's a monster. It's like it's just a regular animal that's like has a horrible disease.
Yeah, it's infected pretty badly. Yeah, no. Uh, I don't know.
Ugh.
I know we have our tall tales, but they make good stories to scare your children, like the Lechusa too. You know,
Who's Lechusa?
the Lechusa's like a owl like big creature that
Ooh,
you hear in the
Lechusa.
trees.
Ooh, the witch owl.
Yeah, it. So we have
Ah,
pretty good horror tales to scare your kids at night. You know, like
that's reminding me of Twin Peaks. The owls are not what they seem.
I've never seen Twin Peaks either. I know of it.
Yeah. You know
I've
what? If
never
you still
seen
haven't seen Jurassic Park or Star Wars, just wait for Twin Peaks. You should let's build you up to Twin Peaks.
it.
That's a little heavy.
Were the I know they like rebooted it or brought it
Not
back.
rebooted it, they just continued it.
Was that any good? Was that did it
Oh,
was it
I loved it
respectful?
because they literally were like, David Lynch, here's like 12 episodes or something. Just do whatever the fuck you want. We don't even care. And David Lynch is like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm like, I'm gonna continue the story and finish. I love he finished some loose ends that were tied up or that were left from the original show. And then he just created a bunch of other cliffhangers. And now half the cast is like dead because they were all old and they'll never be solved. There's like he ended the show on a cliffhanger. It's like, dude, your last cliffhanger took 25 years for a payoff and you ended on another cliffhanger? I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. I love that.
Leave them wanting more.
Leave him wanting more. And it was an even more
Yeah.
confusing cliffhanger.
Let me see here. I know you also watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, of all time? Oh, Jesus. It's a little hard. They go back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I'd
have
s-
to say my Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
yeah. Let's do
It'd be
that.
like Undertaker, Hogan, Eddie Guerrero, um, ah, and maybe Stone Cold because he was like the big one when I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I like a lot of them. I like a lot of them.
And it's mostly what the classic ones, or are you a
No, there's
fan of
like
any of the newer
no. I
ones?
watch a lot of modern wrestling. I don't watch it as frequently, but I keep up with like social media. But
Hmm.
there's some good wrestlers out there right now. Like I love the champion in AEW right now, MJF. He's a
Yeah,
really good bad guy. I think
he's great.
they waited too long to make him champion, and now AEW kind of sucks. Like I'm glad he's champion, but it's like, oh man, I would have liked this more like a year and a half ago. But yeah,
Well,
there's a lot of modern.
he really has no one to like go up against. They don't
Well,
build good characters. Like they just
yeah.
kind of keep with Kenny Omega or
Well, because
they lo-
Tony Khan is like Tony Khan did that whole thing where it's like, I'm gonna bring in a million WWE guys and give them nothing to do. I'm
and
still
these
mad about how much they fucked Keith Lee up. It's like, dude, we wanted Keith Lee as like a singles competitor in like the main event because WWE kind of robbed him of that. And there was some
Mhm.
unfortunate circumstance. He did get sick before the Royal Rumble that year. And then they bring him in, they put him in a fucking tag team. Like, what are
Very
you
weird.
doing?
And
And
then
now he's got, yeah,
even that other guy, that Swerve Strickland, right?
yeah,
He's a good singles opponent
yeah.
too. Like, so why would you combine them? Like, if they can hold their own, you know?
Yeah. But no, they made the same mistakes like WCW and Impact did. They're like, look at this WWE guy we have. And now we have another one. And now we have another one. It's like, okay. Got it. Got it. And then like I was watching like I used to watch like What Culture and stuff, but they simp so hard for AEW. And it's like even when they're criticizing them, they can't help but also praise them. It's like, guys, come on. Like, I get that these wrestlers talk to you more and hang out with you, but let's not pretend like some of this isn't fucking stupid.
I'll say that's a big deal is that everyone's
Yeah.
kind of on the payroll of AEW,
Yeah.
so they don't want to like truly criticize it, and they're always talking
Yeah.
shit about WWE because it's kid friendly and not aimed at the
Well,
people that
the one fucking who's that bald guy on What Culture? He's also a wrestler. He was like
Simon
hanging out.
Miller.
Yeah, he was like hanging out with like Thunder Rosa for like a week. They were like posting all these pictures together. It's like, oh yeah, really non-biased there, guys.
I bet she's
And
fucking
she
him.
sucks. She's like not a good wrestler. So
No,
it's like, what the hell?
actually, I think she is a good wrestler, but she's just hated like in the locker room. I don't think she's like a good. Well,
Well,
she's
she did,
Mexican, so
she did sandbag that one match, and then they had to
yeah.
do that awkward apology, that forced apology. Like, we're actually friends now because we're both moms, maybe or whatever. I'm
Oh
like, what
my
the fuck?
god.
You just tried to screw her over. Shut up.
And then I had a theory because she got injured before she was supposed to be at a pay per view of a
Yeah.
3-way, and so they had to do an interim championship for the women's
Yeah.
title type bullshit. And I think she was just lying because she had
Mhm.
so many events lined up that said and featuring AEW champion fucking Thunder Rosa. And it's like if you're not the champion, they're not gonna want you anymore. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you're not the champion anymore. Why do we want you here? So I feel like she faked like a back injury to be, to be able to still do those like commitments that say, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
still champion," you know? Technically.
Like CM Punk was still champion. That interim shit is stupid. It's like, just
Oh, it's
drop the
so
belt.
they've
Just
done it
drop the
so
belt.
many times too.
Yeah.
I think they did it with I don't know if it was Sammy Guevara that was the champion at the moment and he had to
Yeah.
do the TNT belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone was injured and it was just like, dude, just drop the
Drop the
title. Like,
belt.
yeah, or do what they do where you get squashed real quick and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
So
I don't get
dumb.
the whole bullshit. I was thinking, did you have any like cool wrestling toys as a kid?
I have a bunch back there in that cabinet. I have the big muscle roided ones. I have in there. I have the Undertaker, Mankind, and Stone Cold that you could put like water in and they would sweat, but they all look like they had like giant bulging muscles, like they're like roided out like crazy. I used to have
That was the appeal. You'd put water in them and press
yeah,
a
you can make
button,
them
they'd
sweat.
sweat.
You can make them sweat. I don't feel like opening the cabinet, or else
No, I
I
wouldn't.
but yeah, those are fun. Yeah, I just had pretty much standard wrestling figures, nothing too crazy. I did have a ring where they could all fight in at one point.
Man, badass.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
badass. I've never had a ring.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who had like the ring and all the toys, and I remember only having a toy that was the giant from WCW,
Yeah.
and the only thing it would do, you put batteries in it, press a button on its like side right here, and it would just start vibrating. And now as an adult, I'm like, dude, was that like a repurposed sex toy?
All
Because
right, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that was not a repurposed sex toy, Lorenzo.
see the appeal, like as a me right now.
I don't think anyone looked at a vibrator and was like, you know what? If I make that look like Paul White, I could probably sell that to kids. I don't think that happened, Lorenzo.
We got a million sex toys here that vibrate. Why don't
What are we gonna do? I'll make him look like the giant from WCW. That's a weird plan.
Kids will love it. They love things that vibrate. It's so much fun, like.
I guess the idea was you were just supposed to put it on the ring and it would like shake toward the guy,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, I
Maybe.
get it. At least as a kid, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, now as an adult, he's got these big fists that you could just stick into your vagina and have some fun with, I guess.
Jesus Christ, Lorenzo.
Or both the feet. I don't know. That's where my mind goes now with it. Like, why did I like this toy so much?
Lorenzo, I'm so glad you started a podcast.
I'm trying.
I'm glad you sat here with these thoughts and we're like, you know what? The internet probably needs to. That's my favorite thing about your show. You're like, you know what? I thought this. I'm sure a lot of other people thought about this. Then you put it out there, and everyone goes, "No, no one. Literally, no one's ever thought about this, Lorenzo. You're the only one."
It's
Maybe Mid Salad has equally interesting thoughts on things.
Oh yeah, no, I think
this weekend.
I think her and I have the same size boobs. Most likely.
You guys really should do shows more often together.
No, she's great. She was my first guest ever on here, and
how did you find my show, by the way? Because I feel like these stickers you sent like a long time ago.
I've sent you stuff just to like,
yeah.
Hey, you know, we really like your show. Me and my buddy. Hey, here's the shirts. You know, I think we sent some. And it was more like, oh, you have a PO box. Cool, I'll send you like a shirt because we've always.
When you sent me the merch, I'm like, oh, I've gotten these before. I'm like, Lorenzo must have been on his radar for a long time.
I've well, since the Angry Video Game days, you know, I've liked all of y'all guys, like you, and then you know, what's his name, the main video game nerd, I forget his real name.
James. Sorry, I just dropped my mouse. Hold on.
Oh no. And then
okay, it's back.
Who else? I think there was Mike, the guy who gets really mad when he's playing old Nintendo games, and Kieran was cool. They were all cool. The whole
Kieran, not Kieran.
Oh, come on.
like Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I always watch that, or even that once you got your show like that Crystal Quinn, and they're all great. So I just like the show. You know, it's funny. I enjoy, you know, the long form content you could just kind of put on, sit down, be on your phone, and
sometimes it's longer than the movie.
No, but yeah, that's where I remember finding it with the Angry Video Game Nerd, and then just getting into it. And yeah, I remember I've always done merch, like even before I had a show or anything to promote. I've always just made
merch.
Yeah, I just made merch of myself because my buddy would be like, "Hey, I could draw you like this," or I would say, "Hey, draw me like this," and we have stickers.
Well, see, now that was that's a lesson you learned from Jurassic Park. When the guy Jeff Goldblum is lecturing the dude about like genetically engineering dinosaurs, he's like, before you even knew what you had, you patented it, you packaged it, and you slapped it on a lunchbox.
Exactly what I did. I was already branded myself before I started. So yeah, it's funny that you're like, oh, you already had merch. Yeah, always just had merch of myself.
Star Wars experimented with that in the 90s. There was this thing called Shadows of the Empire, right? And they basically were like, what if we made an entire merchandising line around a movie that just didn't exist? So it was a novel, a comic, and a video game. And you would have to like play and read all three to get the full story. But then they made a bunch of toys and stuff just based off the story that was not a movie, and it sold very, very well. They're like, oh wow, we're making merch for movies that don't even exist right now. People are playing the video game, they're buying the spin-off book, the comic, all the toys, and it's like, and it's not even a real movie.
No, that's smart. That's I hope whoever fucking was in the corner of the room thinking that idea and rose his hand and got a fucking
I don't know anyone in the 90s who had a Nintendo 64 who didn't have Shadows of the Empire. So I assume it did really well.
Yeah, I probably did. Maybe. Just because I don't like, or I say I don't like Star Wars, but I've never seen Star Wars to really critique it. I do like Diddy Kong Racing though. That was a great.
Diddy Kong Racing's good. It is good.
Yeah. I always say Diddy Kong Racing, it reminds me of Mexicans because when we try to get to this country, it's either by air, by boat, or by land or by land car.
So you think the Kongs of the new movie should have had Mexican actors behind them, right?
Is that what? I don't know. Maybe with King Kong, yeah, on his side Mexicans. But
Not King Kong, it's Donkey Kong. And
oh,
Cranky
Donkey
Kong.
Kong. I thought you were talking about King Kong.
No, I'm talking about because you mentioned Diddy Kong Racing, so I
Yeah,
mentioned that.
maybe Diddy Kong should have been like, "Si, senor," you know, like the real Looney Tunes sounding Mexican, you know.
Who did they get? So they got Seth Rogen to play Donkey Kong in the new movie.
They should have just.
And he's awful. He is so bad.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh,
Because he's just
he's
playing
absolutely
himself, right?
terrible. Yeah, he didn't even attempt a voice.
Well, with all the noise John Leguizamo's making, he should come in and play Diddy Kong if they haven't done a voice for Diddy Kong. Put him in there.
Let me see here.
At least they didn't cast a black actor as the monkey. That would have been bad.
I'm trying to see what is Fred Armisen, because Fred Armisen was Cranky Kong in it. But
In
it looks
the
like
movie?
yeah, he's Cranky Kong, but he is like very mixed. I didn't realize how mixed Fred Armisen was. Yeah, I'm looking at earlier. I'm
he
seeing
looks
like
all genetically mixed up. Fred Armisen.
yeah, it's like his family, blah blah blah. He's like part German, part Korean. Damn it, he's like everything. Never mind, he gets a pass then.
I'm
He's
about
allowed
to
to
say
be Cranky Kong.
checks a lot of the boxes for what they were looking for. I'm sure.
He sounded very Jewish in it. And when I was watching the movie, I'm like, I didn't expect the Kongs to sound as Jewish as they do. I don't know what maybe because I was just used to the cartoon in the 90s, the CG animated one, which wasn't that good. But I guess I was just more used to those voices when I had them when I saw their accents in the new movie. I'm like, I didn't expect that. Didn't expect that. But I was too focused on Mario's voice being butchered.
Oh yeah, we all already do that. Everyone made that point.
I will say though, Seth Rogen was way worse as Donkey. He was so unbelievably bad as Donkey Kong. And actually, I'm planning when it comes out on video, me and my friend Royce from Revenge of the Sith, I decided that I should redub all of Mario's lines with my own voice. And then Royce threw his name in the hat to be Donkey Kong because we got to fix that one too. I won't be able to officially release it. I mean, it'd be a shame if I left it on a thumb drive and it just leaked on the internet. That'd be a shame. But
I'm sure you could Patreon it, right? Like that could be something you put on your Patreon.
I can figure out ways around it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. No, that sounds like people would anyone else would do that and they'd be like get a pass, you know? So why not you? Why not make something
Hey guys, watch the Super Mario Brothers movie with a real Italian.
They'd love that.
And a Cuban guy is Donkey Kong.
It just makes it even more diverse.
Yeah. It is way more diverse.
Lastly, I see you game on Twitch. I've seen you recently and before.
I've been doing it more these days now that I have time to do it.
Yeah, and where can they find the viewers find you on Twitch? Is it Twitch?
Twitch.tv/hackthemovies.
Okay, that's way simple to keep everything the same name. I appreciate
I've been
that.
playing like movie-based games, mostly for the show that I do, Just Like the Movie, where I take a movie-based game and see how accurate it is. But lately, just like when like it's funny, like so I'm either working on episodes or reorganizing and cleaning the house, and then to unwind, I stream on Twitch, which is technically work. I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey, so if you want to see a real Italian play Super Mario Odyssey, you can.
I like how you can slap that on anything. You want to see a real Italian do something? Come watch my show. Has there any? And I know you were already talking about that you don't cry anymore because you're the manliest Italian that ever lived.
No, I'm definitely not manly. I just don't cry.
Has there ever been a video game that like made you emotional, like on the precipice of crying? Because I could name
Shadow of the Colossus when that horse falls down, when the horse falls off that bridge. You're like, oh man, I spent all of this game with that horse. It was my only companion through this entire game. And now I'm at the final boss and it dies. I mean, spoiler, it's not dead. But I was like, oh my god. I'm
Okay.
like, that's rough. Now I gotta face the whole boss without my trusty horse. This is a nightmare. Shit, now I want to play that game again. I played that game so many times. But no, nothing really makes me emotional, I guess, from video games.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the first game that ever made me like legit cry
Yeah.
was BioShock. At the end of
Okay.
it, when you do all the the good stuff to get the good ending, and you
Yeah.
have all like the little sisters at your bedside when you
Yeah.
die, and it's like all you wanted was a family or whatever the fuck, and I was just like, like get that ugly cry.
I played a little bit of BioShock. I never finished it. Someone lent it to me years ago. And it
No,
was okay.
it's a good game. One and
Yeah.
two are very good.
Yeah.
Very well done, put together, and paced and stuff. Very good story.
Hmm.
But yeah, that and I think Life is Strange. I don't know if you ever heard of Life is Strange.
Oh, I played it. I streamed that years ago.
Oh, did you? The
Oh yeah, I killed that girl.
You did? You let her
Oh
die?
yeah. No, I was watching. Like this girl's real manipulative and kind of
Okay.
shitty. I want my main girl to hang out with that guy instead. This girl fucking sucks. Like if you pick the girl, it's like the whole town gets wiped out. I'm like, this girl
hmm
is
hmm
awful. I'd rather save the town.
See, but I was thinking more my motivation for the whole game was wanting to be with this girl. And even at the beginning, you save her, spoiler alert, or whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. So it's like letting her die at the end. It's like, I don't think it's within character. So I like, kept her alive. The whole town got destroyed and we like went to the next city or something. So I
No,
felt like I
I
had to do that. But
no,
if you
I
play,
killed her.
if
I
you,
killed her.
yeah,
I
well,
was like, I was gunning to kill her. I'm like, I hate
yeah,
this character. She's so goddamn annoying.
you're right.
And
She is,
she again, she is super manipulative and
yeah,
mean.
yeah. She's super
When you go into that like
manipulative.
that other dimension, she's like in a wheelchair yelling at you. It's like, oh my god, shut up. Great soundtrack, really good soundtrack.
Oh yeah, lovely. I love
Yeah,
Angus and Julia Stone and all the
I
other.
never played. There was like a sequel, right? I never
Yeah,
played the
it
sequel.
was a prequel. It was called Before the
Oh,
Storm.
oh no, but didn't they do like an actual sequel?
They did, yeah, they did a Life is Strange 2 with new
Yeah,
characters. I have yet to play that,
I've
but they
yet to
did
play
a
it too.
they did a prequel called Before the Storm where you play as that shitty bitch
Yeah,
uh hanging out with the girl that was like murdered
yeah,
and leading up to it. And I remember playing that the prequel Before the Storm and crying my eyes out because at the end of that,
yeah,
you're trying to call her, get a hold of her, and she
yeah.
ends up she's like at that underground bunker where you
Right.
yeah, so like she's dying, and I'm like, oh man, this is terrible, you know.
That is a bummer.
Yeah, no, but Life is Strange is a good game too. That would make me
Yeah.
cry. But yeah, no, it's cool that you're streaming on Twitch. I need to try that too. I was streaming right now I'm playing Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door
Okay.
for GameCube. I bought it. I actually have it right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's worth a lot of money. Even like this is without the booklet, it's probably like 80-90 bucks.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Huh.
expensive. All GameCube, every retro game is expensive nowadays.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
should probably sell some of mine.
I could get some good cash for him, I'm sure, and you
Yeah.
could maybe even sign something in there and get a little boost. But I know earlier we were talking about you going to full time YouTuber
Mhm.
status, recently becoming a full time YouTuber. What's some good like advice or something you would tell yourself back when you were trying to reach this? Like because I'm trying to do that same thing myself, where I'd like
Well,
to do
back
it full
then I was
time.
putting all my reviews on Blip because that's where a lot of reviewers were.
hmm
Because they were less strict about copyright, but I should have went back in time and be like, no, just do YouTube. Just do YouTube. Because they're all going to come back to YouTube. And if you're already there, that'll help you. So
hmm
there's that. I would have just learned how to do like SEO a little bit earlier. Not be afraid to follow trends. Not think I'm above anything. um, so yeah, it's hard to like say like what advice specifically I would give myself because I'm still learning every day. So keep in mind
Yeah.
this might all fall apart like next month. So I haven't really figured it all out yet, Lorenzo.
Yeah, no, that's good that you could admit that though, that you're still learning.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing like I know you said you've been going at it for a good decade
Yeah.
or so, so like obviously it takes time and you nevertheless you persevered, you kept
Yeah.
going, never
Persevered.
persevere.
Not preserved. Not pres You did persevered and preserved.
I like how you keep correcting me like,
Yeah.
no, it's
I
it's curing. No, it's persevere.
I was at a party once, and this guy was talking, and my girlfriend at the time was talking to him, and then the one guy, he's just like, yeah, it's like real dramatic, and then my girlfriend, yeah, it's like dramatic, and I had to pause. I'm like, guys, that's not a word. Like, you just did drastic and dramatic, and like it shocked me that one just said a word that was just so not real, and then the other person without skipping a beat was like, yeah, it is dramatic. I'm like, what the fuck are both of you talking about? Nevertheless, I persevere.
Persevered. Well, see, at that party though, you were in the minority because you had two people saying the word wrong, so you were gonna lose that battle.
they were all white, and I was Italian, so yes, I was in the
Oh
minority.
man, you were gonna lose. You were gonna lose. I'm surprised you didn't get kicked the fuck out of that party for that. They would have every right to do that to you. So lastly, and then I think I just said lastly the other time. Any like future hack the movies like type stuff you're gonna like change, or you just keep evolving over time, or you're gonna
um,
stick to what you're doing right now? And
when it comes to the main channel, nothing much is gonna change. Lately, because we used to do 2 episodes a week, we went down to 1. But that's actually been really good because now I can do like these smaller videos on like Thursdays and Fridays where I like take a look at like different things. At the end of the month, I've started doing monthly wrap up streams where we talk about new releases that we've seen. And those have been a lot of fun. I got a panel of like people. We just talk about new movies we've seen. When it comes to Patreon, I'm trying out new things. I just needed time to do it. Like tonight, I'm watching like a couple movies that I need to watch before the weekend because I'm filming a few reviews. And I'm supposed to do exclusive streams on Patreon. I've been kind of slacking on it. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll have my $10 patrons can come in and watch these movies with me. It'll be a lot of fun. The only problem with that is I don't know how to upload it afterwards because it's going to have movie footage, but I'll figure that out. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Like all the new stuff will probably be on Patreon if I'm trying to like figure out new things to do. But no, the channel itself is gonna stay consistent. New episode every Monday. Bonus videos mostly on Thursdays. I've been uploading more YouTube shorts, which are just clips from the show in a vertical format. You have the clips channel. There's the Hack the Movies clips channel.
oh,
So
is there?
those monthly wrap up streams I was telling you about. I usually take each movie we talk about and I chop it up and I put it on the clips channel as like mini reviews. So if you don't want to watch the whole live episode of us going through every movie, you're like, I just want to see what Tony had to say about Scream 6. You can go to the clips channel and watch just the Scream 6 episode. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Hack the Movies clips. It's almost monetized. So that's a new revenue stream for old Uncle
Hell
Tony.
yeah. Hell
And
yeah,
I
Uncle
will
Tony.
at some point be bringing back my Godzilla podcast. We had to put that on extended hiatus. But we are looking to bring that back, so that should be a lot of fun.
That was a podcast solely on Godzilla. Like,
Castzilla versus the Pod Monster, yes.
is there enough? Well, I know there's a lot of Godzilla.
There's a lot of Godzilla
media
stuff,
out
and
there.
they're making new Godzilla. They just put the teaser for the next Godzilla Kong movie, so yeah. We did the entire Showa era, which was like the 50s to late 70s, and then the show went on hiatus kind of suddenly, and then it's just been on hiatus for over a year. So we're slowly trying to bring it back. We have some plans to bring that back. We want to do it as a live format like this, which would be
Uh-huh.
fun. But yeah, that's all the news that's going on there.
My favorite Godzilla part is when he's teaming up with that robot and he's holding the villain and the robot's holding the
Yeah.
villain monster, and then Godzilla does that drop kick that he's
Yep.
just floating.
Godzilla versus Megalon. That robot is Jet Jaguar.
There we go. No,
Jet
that
Jaguar.
was like my favorite. And then he does it again. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he fucking
Yeah.
flies all the way over.
Dude,
again.
I bought so they haven't made merch of Jet Jaguar since like the 70s. And like the last few years, because he was in like the new anime and they started making toys of him again. I bought every single one. I bought multiples of them because I'm like, it might be another 30 years before they make merch of this character again. I need to buy as much as I can get.
Hey man, I know the feeling. If you have
Yeah.
the money, hell yeah. I know, like I said, I just bought Paper Mario, or I bought it
Yeah.
because I wanted.
Yeah.
You could emulate that shit anywhere, but I was like,
Yeah.
no, I have my Wii, plays GameCube
Yeah.
games. I'm gonna play this the way God intended, or whatever you want to call it, But
Yeah.
that's all I really got for today, man. I want to
Okay.
appreciate you coming on the podcast. That's all funny.
No problem.
If you have, or if you want to shout out all your where we can find you, or whisper any secrets to the Rat King while he's in front of you, go ahead. But
Um,
tell us
I
where
don't
the
have any
fans can
secrets.
find you.
Just search Hack the Movies wherever you go. Twitter, Hack the Movies. Instagram, Hack underscore the underscore movies. YouTube, Hack the Movies. Just Hack the Movies. You can also go to hackthemovies.com. There's some fun stuff there. And patreon.com/hack the movies, which I think is the most important one. So yeah,
I think
check
so too.
all of that out. It's a lot of fun.
No, it is a lot of fun, and I want to thank you again for taking the time. I know you're a busy man,
Yep.
and
I got to get
yeah,
back to editing Monday's episode right after this and shoot a video for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm about saying, when you're like, I
Yeah.
know how it is producing your own content,
Yeah.
cutting it up, doing all that. That's
Mm.
a lot of
Yeah.
background work. I can't imagine for you, because you gotta like
Mm.
do some stuff to circumvent some of YouTube's
Yeah.
algorithms or whatever. But I
Yeah.
appreciate the content you put out, and
Thank you.
everyone go check out Tony from Hack the Movies on his channel, where
Yes.
everywhere he just said. And yeah, thank you for being here. I hope to have you on again sometime.
No problem.
All
Goodbye.
right, thanks, man. Bye, everybody.